Hi, this is the blackview phone which came to me a few days ago to replace the LCD screen, and so I decided to make a video out of it, and this is how we do it. So it's a pretty tough waterproof phone, that is. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the back case and start opening all the screws. So one thing is very important with this is when you open the screws from the back screws, it's got the little rubber grips which are wrapped around the all the screws which goes at the back. It's kind of a water seals which are wrapped around the screws. So when you open the screws, make sure you don't actually lose them, otherwise your phone will lose the capability of being waterproof. And yeah, so start watching the video and I'll keep notifying you if there are certain points which you may need to know about. So there are 12 screws altogether at the back, three on each side, and there are three, I believe, on the on the vertical side of it. uh, there are three or two, you'll just see it in a bit. Yeah, as you can see, those side ones are gonna come off as well, so just undo them. But they don't have any rubber grips in them, so you don't have to bother about them. Okay, as we have taken all the screws off, it's gonna open the sideways. I don't know if you guys have ever opened the Samsung Galaxy S4. You know the way the back frame comes off. It's exactly the same. Let me just zoom it in to show you. There you go. From the side, it's just gonna you just put your pry tool in and just start taking it apart, and then just separate it. There we go. We've separated them. And the next thing we are going to do is take off that piece of plastic around the camera that's got a couple of screws in it. So we are going to remove those screws. Take off that piece, put it aside. There is another piece, well, that is a loudspeaker along with the vibrator. You don't really need to take it off if you are only replacing the LCD screen, but I did it because this was the first time that I was replacing the screen on it, and I did not know enough about it that I really did not need to take it off, but I still did. So I'll just leave for now, and I'll just go on with the ribbon cables. Just disconnect them all. Oh, that's just a ribbon. That's just the buttons on top of the volume flex and the power flex. That is your antenna. I'm sorry about that part where the phone just kind of get disappears, but stay tuned. I'll show every single bit of taking everything apart. So that's the LCD ribbon cable, that's the camera, and I believe that is the digitizer, and that is the front camera. Because we will have to remove the motherboard from the chassis. We will have to separate these buttons from the frame as well. Just put the pry tool at the back of him and then just pull him outwards. Make sure you don't put enough more pressure on it or too much pressure, otherwise you might uh, end up breaking them. Well, getting back to the bottom piece, so now it is connected with the ribbon cable, which I am going to disconnect, and then it is taped. If I don't know if you can actually see that grayish tape next to the vibrator, it is taped with that gray thing. So just gonna I'm just gonna remove that as well. So that's your ribbon cable, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna lift it up with the pry tool. There we go. There it is, and it is still taped with the rest of the chassis. So I'm just gonna remove that tape so that it gets loose. And then you can just take this part off. Again, let me mention this to you that this removing this piece is not really important. It's just I've done it because I did not know that it did not have to come out necessarily. So you only have to remove the logic board and then just remove the LCD screen and put the new one in and just put the logic board back on. So right now I'm removing the logic board, but it is connected underneath that ribbon cable, if you can see, which I think leads to that piece which we took out. So we are just gonna, so while you're lifting up the logic board, make sure you don't rip this ribbon cable off. There you go, it's disconnected. So we are just gonna put the logic board in aside, and we will get back on the LCD screen. Well, before that, in some of the HTCs and the Blackberries, there is a ribbon cable which is going underneath that sticker, which tells you the model number and the IMEI number of the device. I thought it might be the same, in that phone that might be the case. So I removed that sticker, but there was nothing underneath it, so I stick it back on. As you can see, there is a metal frame, and the LCD ribbon cable is coming all the way from underneath this metal case. So I just simply put it back again. So the next step would be heating up the LCD screen and lifting it up with the pry tool. Okay, so I've got my heat gun heated enough. I normally heat the LCD screens up to 250 degrees to melt the adhesive underneath, and I normally heat up a piece of the LCD screen and lift it up so that um, by the time I get to the next end, I heat it up again. Otherwise, if I heat up the whole LCD screen, I believe if I heat up the whole LCD screen, it may get cold by the time I get to the next end. So I'm just gonna heat it up bit by bit and start lifting up the LCD screen. Once you're sure that the whole LCD screen has been released, I'm just gonna focus on the ribbon cable and just separate the LCD screen from the rest of the frame. And that was the camera, the back camera, which was stuck on the LCD screen itself. So the next thing we would be doing is replacing the adhesive and putting the new LCD screen on. Okay, so we are going to apply some more adhesive on the sides so that the LCD screen is well intact with the frame chassis. I normally use the red tape, which tend to be stronger than any other adhesive. When you apply the adhesive on the frame, make sure you actually press it with some, apply some pressure on the adhesive so that it's completely stuck on the frame itself. Here we go, we are done with our new adhesive. It's time to put the new LCD screen on. So when you are putting the new LCD screen on, I hope you can see a hole in the middle where the back camera goes, and there's another hole underneath it where the LCD screen ribbon cable goes. So you, and on the top the digitizer LCD the ribbon cable goes. So you just have to put that in, the top one I believe, and the LCD screen ribbon cable just come in the position itself. So once you've done that, I normally align the top corners and then put the LCD screen down, and that's what I've done there right in front of you. And just press the LCD screen so it's perfectly settled on the chassis or the frame. So that piece is going, it will have to stay there. So if your one will not stick, just well, it came with the sticky adhesive, so you just had to peel it off and then stick it down there. If it does not, then apply some more of your own adhesive and settle it there. And now it's time to put the first ribbon cable in. So I was just trying to position it in the right way. So that was the way that I found, which you can't see, but I hope that you got the idea that how did I put it in. Okay, just bend the ribbon cable a bit towards outside and then just try to put it in. And it is a bit tricky, so I had to use the tweezers to put it in. There we go. And clip it back on. There we go. Now put the logic board in place, making sure that the touch ribbon cable is not stuck underneath the board. Put all the ribbon cables back together, including the back camera. and the front camera, stick those buttons back in place along with the rubbery grips. They're the actual outer buttons. Normally when you are taking those buttons off or anything unfamiliar, just try to remember the way you took them out, and obviously they're gonna go back in the reverse order. So I'm gonna put this piece back on, which I believe is the vibrator, the microphone, and the loudspeaker, which was a bit um, kind of a useless to take out, but if I did not, I wouldn't know. Remember those water seals I was talking about? I was putting them back in before I put the screws on. So I'll get back to you once it's all finished. There we go. Back is the battery cover is clipped back in. Now it's the moment of truth by turning it on and testing the LCD screen. It looks alright. As I can see the blackview name on the front of the LCD screen. It is taking longer, I know. There we go, it's come on and it's all functioning fine. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.